While Arunachal Pradesh Abotani Students Union takes to streets for nullifying election of non-APST individuals as panchayat members in Lekang constituency, protesters seek response from government. And Gyalshing Sessions Court rejects bail plea of SDF leaders Avinash Yakha and Rinzing Norbu Bhutia. Both leaders missing since April 30th, soaring violence. Hello and welcome to Northeast Live. I am Pooja and we start the bulletin with a big story at this hour. In a shocker, an inmate of a de-addiction center in Manipur was allegedly beaten to death last night. The deceased has been identified as a 32-year-old Lukram Ningtho alias Sanjoy. According to inputs, Ningtho, along with two of his friends, were apprehended by a team of Nambol police on May 31st on charges of consuming drugs. But subsequent to this, Ningtho was sent to the Revive Drug De-Addiction Rehabilitation Center on the same day. Meanwhile, family members of the deceased received a call from the Nambol police station and asked them to reach a Sion hospital for discussing about an incident. However, to their utter shock, Ningtho's family members learned about his sudden death only after reaching the hospital. As per reports, doctors informed that Ningtho was brought dead to the Sion hospital. Needs to be mentioned here that injury marks were clearly visible in the body of the deceased, which indicates that Lukram Ningtho might have been brutally assaulted, leading to his death. According to reports coming in, 3 staff members of Revive Drug De-Addiction Rehabilitation Center have been detained by the police for interrogation. All right, so a big story at this point in time, viewers. In a shocker, an inmate of de-addiction center in Manipur was allegedly beaten to death last night. Well, the deceased has been identified as a 32-year-old Lukram Ningtho alias Sanjoy. According to inputs, Ningtho, along with 2 of his friends, were apprehended by a team of Nambol police on May 31st on charges of consuming drugs. Well, subsequent to this, Ningtho was sent to the Revive Drug De-Addiction Rehabilitation Center on the same day. Meanwhile, family members of the deceased received a call from Nambol police station and asked them to reach Sion hospital for discussing about an incident. However, to their utter shock, Ningtho's family members learned about his sudden death only after reaching the hospital. As per reports, doctors informed that Ningtho was brought dead to the Sion hospital. It needs to be mentioned here that injury marks were clearly visible in the body of the deceased, which indicates that Lukram Ningtho might have been brutally assaulted, leading to his death. Well, according to reports coming in, 3 staff members of the Revive Drug De-Addiction Rehabilitation Center have been detained by the police for interrogation. And meanwhile, our colleague Sharat Chandra spoke exclusively to bereaved family members of Lukram Ningtho alias Sanjoy. Let's listen in.
Right now, our team is at the mortuary of RIMS Hospital. You see, these are the victims' family, deceased family. They are coming here at the RIMS mortuary, waiting for the autopsy test for the dead body. I should say that another case of this inmate of one rehabilitation center allegedly beaten to death. This is another case now resurfaced in Manipur, and this incident happened last evening when one inmate, namely Sanjay, is at about 32. According to the family members, he was beaten very badly and succumbed to his injury. These are the allegations from the victim's family, and with me is the victim's family. This is the elder sister, Matseniko, elder sister of Sanjay, namely Surjabala. Kari kari no maru na tang kunrama thoi duma hyped rehabilitation center mingna revive the rehabilitation center haibako. Nambol Ulo Swida Le Mali. Masada Ganoto was a Legi was a Kayam Quire.
The 31 the thambane aduga ma 32 the nema series.
Death to the ship. Death
3 days.
3 days later.
3 days sudeva.
Okay, around 30 past the lake. Yeah, according to the Sujubla is the elder sister of the deceased Sanjay. According to her, the Sanjay was loose, put into put into the rehabilitation center, namely Revive the Rehabilitation Center located in Ulau area on 31st of May. According to the Sujubla, they just with the consultation of the whole family, they just put Sanjay to this particular rehabilitation center so that he can be reformed. But yes, unfortunately, he just according to the family members, he was very badly beaten by the staffs of this rehabilitation center and succumbed to his injury. And we also came to know after interacting with the Sajurla that Sanjay is survived by one minor daughter and his wife. And now big question is who is going to replace the Sanjay? Sanjay is now dead. His dead body is now lying at the mortuary of the RIMS hospital. And now the hope has been scattered like anything. They hope that the Sanjay will be reformed after putting into the rehabilitation center. Now they are coming here to collect the dead body of the Sanjay. So what is the last appeal from you, Sajubla?
My last appeal is that in this place, in this state, there are many sisters like me. There are many mothers like our mothers who are suffering for their addicted son. So, our honorable CM, we heard that you are very gentle. Please, stop this rehabilitation corruption. Stop this rehabilitation. Those who are running only for money, those who are running, misusing the rehabilitation center's name, and they are unreasonably, they are beating. So please look for it. Look into the matter, and please, my brother Sanjay Singh, please, whatever possibility is there to punish the culprit, please help us and please listen to our appeal. This is my humble request to the Honorable CM.
Yeah, this is a very humble request from Sarjubala, who is the elder sister of Sanjay. Sanjay was the only brother for them, and you see, now their appeal to the Chief Minister of Manipur and Biren Singh is that now time has come to look into the old rehabilitation center running across the state. And we also learned that the state government do have the around 25 rehabilitation center, but private rehabilitation center outnumber the rehabilitation center run by the government. Private center, so far we have learned that around 50 of the private rehabilitation center are running across the state. And now the big question is many of the rehabilitation center that is run by private, owned by the private individual, running without any proper guidance, proper guideline being laid down by the social welfare department. This is the big question. Now time has come for the Chief Minister and Biren Singh to intervene into the matter so that such kind of death should not take place in the future. With video journalist Roshan, this is Sarath Chandra reporting for Northeast Live from Impal.
All right, shifting focus to Tripura now. Well, Bharatiya Janata Party has formally announced its candidates for the upcoming by-elections in Tripura. The party today released an official list showing the name of the candidates and the constituencies they would be contesting from. As per the list, Manik Saha, who is also the current Chief Minister of Tripura, would be contesting from the town Bordowali seat. Ashok Sinha would be contesting from Agartala seat. Swapna Paul Das would be contesting from Surma seat, and Malina Devnath would be contesting from Juba Rajnagar. On the other hand, Congress also released their list today where they announced that former Minister Sudeep Roy Burman would be contesting from Agartala seat and former MLA Ashish Kumar Saha would be contesting from town Bordowali. With this, while Ashish Kumar Saha is pitted against Chief Minister Manik Saha, Sudeep Roy Burman would be facing off against BJP's Ashok Sinha. And ahead of Tripura by-elections, the ruling BJP and the Congress has announced the names of its candidates. The Congress is fielding Sudeep Roy Burman from the Agartala and Ashish Kumar Saha from town Bordowali constituency. Well, both of them have been sitting MLAs from these seats earlier in 2018 with BJP tickets, but they will be fielding it this time on Congress tickets. Well, talking exclusively to Northeast Live, Congress candidates Sudeep Roy Burman and Ashish Kumar Saha said that people are fed up with the misrule of the ruling BJP and getting an opportunity shall cast their vote against BJP.
There is complete misgovernance. One do not see the existence of any government over here. I'll fight this election with our ideology and principle in keeping that in view. I'll take very seriously the BJP, especially keeping in view of the autocratic mindset above these people across the country, because economically India is in an awkward position. Our dollar, our Indian rupee has gone down, its value has gone down. Inflation is on its peak. So all these issues I'll be taking to the people and seeking their blessings so that Congress comes out victorious in these two constituencies where the AICC has already declared the candidature. Friend of mine, might be he's in the BJP, but this is not an issue of personal issue. I wish him all the best, and I'll see him on the field.
टाउन बर्दवाली के लिए मेरा नाम भी आया है। मुझे लगा कि बहुत दिनों के बाद बीजेपी छोड़ के कांग्रेस में ज्वाइन करने के बाद हमारे लिए ये एक बहुत गिफ्ट है। मेरा आम जनता से, हमारी जो बर्दवाली कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी का जो वोटर है, उनके पास मेरी तरफ से वार्ता है, एकदम आप लोग भय डर मुक्त होके घर से निकाल के आइए, आप वोट डालिए। ये चुनाव में आपका जो मनसा है वो पूरा कीजिए, क्योंकि 4.5 साल यहाँ का जो सरकार, ये सरकार किसी के लिए कुछ भी नहीं कर पाया।
Meanwhile, Dr. Ashok Sinha, who is contesting from Agartala, viewed that if opposition have any problem and allegations, then they can always approach the Election Commission and have confidence on it. He said that he is confident that this time BJP will win with much more vote. He viewed that there is no challenge for the BJP as there is a team which is always ready for election.
There is no challenge actually. We have a team. And the team is always ready. All I have to do is go and talk to them, mix with them. They'll do everything for us. There is nothing difficult. There is nothing simple. Everything is a routine. There is an election routine. BJP has a routine for elections. So you'll just follow the procedure. Personal relations are there and there is no difficulty. It's good. It's good to be friendly with everyone. Whoever is in opposition, they have this habit of saying booth capturing, this and that. Election Commission, you have to trust. You cannot say that Election Commission is not working. You cannot say the judiciary is not working. Election Commission is a quasi-judicial body. You have to trust them. If you say election commission doesn't work, then why doesn't BJP win in every state? It's not like this. It is there. There were issues during CPM time, and those we sorted out through the election commission, not by complaining in public. We sorted them out through the election commission, and election commission sorted out when they realized there were certain problems. They sorted them out in 2018 election. And I'm sure if the opposition has any problems, they can always approach the election commission beforehand or afterwards. And I have full faith in the election commission. What they do is fantastic. It's the best in the world.
All right, our assistant news editor Pinaki Das joins us from Agartala to give us the latest on this. Well, Pinaki, as a politicking picks pace ahead of Tripura by-elections, BJP seems confident of sweeping polls. What do you see around you? You had a conversation with the leaders out there. Give us the details.
Well, see, BJP is the party in power, and generally in by-election, always the party which is in power, that is its advantage. But the scenario in Tripura is that now the by-election is taking place in three phases, is because the BJP MLAs over there, they had left the party for reasons. They are citing that the way the government or the party is performing, they are not satisfied with that. That is the reason they have left the party. Though one of them left the party and he was later sacked also, but the other two they had resigned from the party outside. So this is the main issue, because the fight is between BJP and former BJP, who two of them are strong political person in Tripura, two figures. One is Ashish Shah and another is Sudip Burman, who was also a minister in the Biplab government, but was later removed. And Dr. Ashok Sinha is contesting Sudip Burman, and Ashok Sinha was considered as the right hand of Sudip Burman in the sense when both were in Congress, they had to fight against the communists or the left front over here, and they know the tactic of fighting the left. But now the fight is between them only.
Okay.
Though say it's not fight, rather it's a contest of ideology, and that is the issue. Because if Sudeep is a person who has the political background from this particular state for more than two decades, so you can understand he's a strong contender of the Congress. Though BJP, since it's the ruling party, has an advantage always, and they have their machineries and a system. Though Congress is trying to regain its lost ground over here, but keeping in view the previous election in which their anti-incumbency was seen quite strong, and even there have been instances where BJP could lose, particularly the TTIDC election in which Tripura Mota had got a vast victory. So keeping in all those things and the anti-incumbency that has gone, they are hoping that Congress will do a good result this time.
All right. Thank you, Pinaki, for giving us those details at this point in time. With that, we take a short break. Stay tuned for more news.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Acha? Introducing the new Suzuki Avenir, the sportiest, zippiest ride in town that's loaded with next generation GPS navigation.
Simi ক'ত আছে?
যদি মই কলোহেঁতেন আমি মাতিছো তেন্তে ৱেইট কৰালাহেঁতেন নহয়। The new Suzuki Avenir, more zip for trip.
Welcome back. With merely 4 days to go for the crucial Karbi-Anglong Autonomous Council polls, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma is leaving no stone unturned to ensure a decisive win for the BJP. Well, Chief Minister Sharma, who has been campaigning in Karbi-Anglong on a war footing, today attended 4 election rallies as part of his campaigning. Well, the top BJP strategists today addressed election rallies and made the development pitch towards the voters.
বৰষুণ বহুত দি আছে না মাজে মাজে দি থাকে নে বৰষুণ দি থাকে নে নাই ইয়াতে ঠিক আছে যদি ইলেকশ্যনৰ দিনা বৰষুণ দিয়ে কি হ'ব ইলেকশ্যনৰ দিনা বৰষুণ দিলেও আমি ভোট দিব যাম নে নাযাম যামতো একেবাৰে ৰাতিপুৱাই উঠি ইলেকশ্যনৰ দিনা আমি ভোট দিব লাগিব কাৰণ দিনততো বৰষুণ হৈ ইণ্ডোৰ ষ্টেডিয়ামৰ কাম আৰম্ভ কৰিম আৰু এই ইণ্ডোৰ ষ্টেডিয়ামৰ পৰা হিমা দাস লভলীনা বৰগোহাঁইৰ দৰে আমি অলিম্পিক চেম্পিয়ন আমি জন্ম দিম আজিকালি আপোনালোকে জানে যে অসম চৰকাৰৰ চাকৰিত কোনেও টকা পইচা দিব নালাগে কনিষ্টেবলৰ চাকৰি যোৱা কেইদিনমান আগতে ওলালে যি লৰাই ধুনীয়াকৈ দৌৰিছে সিয়ে চাকৰি পাইছে কোনেও 1 টকা দিবলগীয়া হোৱা নাই ইয়াত যেতিয়া আমাৰ ষ্টেডিয়াম হ'ব আমাৰ ধুনীয়াকৈ দৌৰা দৌৰি বক্সিং আমি সব প্ৰেক্টিছ কৰিব লাগিব যাতে পুলিচ আৰ্মি চিআৰপিৰ সব চাকৰি দুৱাৰ বাকৰি লৰাই পাব পাৰে টৰ্চ লাইটৰ বেটাৰী নাই কাটা হাতৰ ভেলু নাই হয়নে সেইকাৰণে আমি সকলোৱে দিল্লীত বিজেপিৰ চৰকাৰ আছে দিছপুৰত বিজেপিৰ চৰকাৰ আছে আৰু ডিফুটো বিজেপিৰ চৰকাৰ বনাই আমি ট্ৰিপল ইঞ্জিনৰ চৰকাৰ আমি বনাব লাগিব যি নহওক এইবাৰ ৰিচাৰ্ড টকবিয়ে কৈছে যে ইয়াতে আনাৰস ৰাখিবৰ কাৰণে এটা কোল্ড ষ্টৰেজ বনাব লাগিব এতিয়া আমি আনাৰসটো সিজন নহলেও আমি বিক্ৰী কৰিব পাৰিম হয়নে লাগে নে নাই আৰু ইয়াতে বহুত কমলা হয় হয়নে নহয় অৰেঞ্জো হয় গতিকে আমি দুৱাৰ বাগিৰিত ভৱিষ্যতে এটা কোল্ড ষ্টৰেজ বনাব লাগিব
Meanwhile, talking to our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, on the sidelines of his campaigning, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said that the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls is important for the BJP as the 4 seats of the KAAC and 1 seat from Dima Hasao ensure BJP's hold on the Difu parliamentary seat.
We are joined in by Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, who is on his last day of campaign in Karbi Anglong. Well, the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council election is turning out to be a high-profile election campaign. It seems like Lok Sabha or Assembly election campaigning.
Look, Karbi Anglong election is important because these 4 seats plus 1 seat of Dima Hasao constitute Difu parliamentary seat. So, if you win Karbi Anglong, then you are also winning Difu parliamentary seat. So, from that angle, and also it is the one of the oldest district council in Assam. And you also got to connect with our Karbi brothers through this election. So, this election is very, very important.
It may be mentioned here that Chief Minister Sharma addressed as many as 19 mega rallies in the last 5 days. Today's campaigning marked the end of Assam Chief Minister's campaigning for the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls. Meanwhile, the polls are set to be held on June 8th. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma has said that the reshuffle of the cabinet is going to be a minor event with just 1 or new ministers to be inducted. While talking to our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, Chief Minister Sharma said that only 1 new minister hailing from a hill district of the state would be inducted into the cabinet on June 9th, and his swearing-in ceremony would be taking place for the same. The Assam Chief Minister also made it clear that none of the existing ministers in the cabinet would be dropped. The exercise is only going to be a redistribution of portfolios of the cabinet.
Announced that there will be a major reshuffle on 9th. So, what is the idea?
There will be a very small minor reshuffle. We have to induct someone from hills. So there will be some changing of portfolio. Obviously, when a new minister joins, some portfolio has to be changed. But beyond that, nobody will be dropped. It will not be a major reshuffle.
Is it going to be only change of portfolios or
only change of portfolio? Nobody will be dropped.
With that, we take a short break. Stay tuned for more news.
Northeast Live every weekend talk show on upcoming and hidden talents from Northeast and beyond. Watch Showtime with me, Aaron Lingdor, only on Northeast Live. Watch Showtime with me, Aaron Lingdor, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Repeat at 10 p.m. Northeast Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Introducing the new Suzuki Avenus, the sportiest, zippiest ride in town that's loaded with next generation GPS navigation.
নতুন মিউজিক ডাইরেক্টর রোহানে এতিয়ালৈকে মিউজিক পঠোৱা নাই।
I've got it. The new Suzuki Avenus. More zip for trip.
Northeast.
Welcome back. And before moving to some other stories, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Shocker from Manipur, inmate allegedly beaten to death in drugs rehabilitation center. Kin of victim cry foul. Joint Action Committee demands proper probe and action against guilty. Politicking picks pace ahead of Tripura by-elections. BJP confident of sweeping polls. Opposition escalates attack on Saffron Party for alleged misrule. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma's blazing campaign trail in Karbi Anglong harps on a development agenda in poll-bound Hill District on his last day of poll campaign. All Arunachal Pradesh Abotani Students Union takes to streets for nullifying election of non-APST individuals as Panchayat members in Lekang constituency. Protesters seek response from government. And Gyalching Sessions Court rejects bail plea of SDF leaders Avinash Yakha and Ringzing Norbu Bhutia. Both leaders missing since April 30th, soaring violence. Well, the Longding Battalion of Assam Rifles today organized a security meeting at Longding Circuit House. The agenda of the meeting was to discuss the present security situation in view of kidnappings and forcible detentions of local villages authorities by NFCN KYA. Well, the security meeting was chaired by the commandant of Longding Battalion of Assam Rifles. The officers from district administration and Longding police were also present in the meeting. Meanwhile, over 130 village chiefs, Gamburas, Zilla Parishad members also attended the meet. On the other hand, family members of active rebels of Wancho region also took part in the meeting. During the deliberations, the Assam Rifles as well as the Arunachal Pradesh police assured that all-out efforts would be made to deny any space to insurgents in Longding as well as the entire TCL region. The Assam Rifles also appealed the village authorities to take an united stand against insurgency and encourage the rebels to join the mainstream. The village authorities pledged that they will not concede to the illegal demands of ransom by insurgents on account of surrender and defections. They also unanimously decided not to allow any fresh recruitment from their respective villages to underground organizations in future. The family members of the active insurgents assured the security forces that they will make a sincere endeavor to convince their family members to surrender before security forces and police. It's a big story at this point in time, viewers. The Longding Battalion of Assam Rifles today organized a security meeting at Longding Circuit House. The agenda of the meeting was to discuss the present security situation in view of the kidnappings and forcible detentions of local village authorities by NSC and KYA. The security meeting was chaired by Commandant of Longding Battalion of Assam Rifles. The officers from the district administration and Longding police were present in the meeting. And meanwhile, over 130 village chiefs, Gaupuras, Zilla Parishad members also attended the meet. On the other hand, family members of active rebels of Wancho region also took part in the meeting. And during the deliberations, the Assam Rifles as well as the Arunachal Pradesh police assured that all-out efforts would be made to deny any space to insurgents in Longding as well as the entire TCL region. The Assam Rifles also appealed the village authorities to take a united stand against insurgency and encourage the rebels to join the mainstream. Well, the All Arunachal Pradesh Abotani Students Union or APATSU today staged a peaceful rally from Akashdeep to IG Park in Itanagar following the failure of the state government to address their Charter of demands. Well, these include a permanent solution on ST and PRC issues of 6 communities in the Lekang constituency and also immediate cancellation of non-APST elected panchayat leaders. It may be mentioned here that Apatsu had also sent a reminder letter with a 20-day ultimatum which has expired. The Deputy Chief Minister, meanwhile, is yet to respond to it. Hence, the union launched democratic movement against the government.
Our demand is clear that non-APST, they are participating, they are enjoying our indigenous right. So we being the indigenous people, we cannot tolerate such act. So we are directly demanding for immediate cancellation of that representative elected panchayat leader. And the second thing is that this panchayat and panchayat post, they are directly connected to this PRC. Without getting any PRC and PRC, they cannot even participate in this panchayat election. That is our clear stand. That is our clear demand. देखिए ये तो क्लियर कट हम बोलेगा कि हमारा इसमें कोई ऐसे पॉलिटिकलाइज नहीं है। चलो जो बाकी जो हमको अगर पॉलिटिकल लीडर कोई जो है ये जेन्युइन इशू देख के अगर कोई थोड़ा अगर कुछ इधर आगे आगे पीछे किया भी हो तो उसको तो हम मालूम नहीं, बिल्कुल हम मालूम नहीं, लेकिन हमारा डिमांड जो हमारा इशू जो हमारा डिमांड वो हमारा क्लियर है, नॉन पॉलिटिकलाइज है। ये तो नॉन पॉलिटिकलाइज है। आपने बोला लॉन्ग पेंडिंग, ये है लॉन्ग पेंडिंग, हम पहले भी हम हाईलाइट किया है। इसमें जो है एक आदमी जो है 25 ईयर्स चेयर में, अभी 30 ईयर्स हो रहा है चेयर में रह रहा है, जब तक वो रहेगा हमारा लीडर कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा, ये सीधा सा बात है।
And on to some national news now. Well, Telangana police has arrested the third accused in connection with the alleged gang rape of a teenage girl in Hyderabad's Jubilee Hills last week. So far, 3 accused, including 2 minors, have been nabbed in Hyderabad rape case. One accused, identified as Saduddin Malik, was arrested yesterday, and the second accused, who is a juvenile, was held earlier today. Police informed that the 3 are being produced before juvenile court for their custody. Meanwhile, Janasena party leaders and workers staged a protest at Jubilee Hills police station, demanding justice for the victim of Hyderabad rape case. They were later detained. The 17-year-old girl was allegedly gang raped when she was returning home from a party in the Jubilee Hills area of Hyderabad on May 28th. The matter came to light after the minor girl's father submitted a complaint to the police regarding the incident. On the complaint of the girl's father, a police case was registered against 5 persons. Telangana police said that they have identified 5 culprits as per CCTV footage and the statement of the victim. The security footage, which is viral on social media, purportedly showed the girl standing with the suspected attackers outside the pub where she had met them. The boys had offered to drop her home. Instead, she was assaulted inside a parked car in the city. Her attackers took turns raping her while the others stood guard outside the car. Well, security has been heightened in Srirangapatna in Karnataka's Mandya district following calls by Hindu organizations like Vishwa Hindu Parishad or VHP to perform puja at the Jamia Mosque, claiming that it was built after razing a Hanuman temple. Prohibitory orders have been imposed in the temple town under Section 144 of the CRPC to prevent any protest or procession from taking place. Besides, the district police force contingents of Karnataka State Reserve Police have also been deployed. The roads have been barricaded and security pickets have been erected in the town. Wearing saffron scarves and holding saffron flags, the Bajrang Dal and VHP activists on motorcycles raised Jai Shri Ram slogans. And fearing backlash, many shopkeepers around the shrine downed shutters for the day. Members of fringe Hindu outfits have called for a protest march to the mosque. However, authorities have denied permission for it. Police have been directed to take all the measures to ensure peace and public order in view of VHP's Srirangapatna Chalo campaign. It may be mentioned that right-wing organizations have been claiming that Jamia Mosque was an Ajamea temple, which 18th century ruler Tipu Sultan had destroyed to build a mosque in its place. The outfits have submitted a memorandum to the district authorities seeking a survey of the mosque and take steps to return the Anjaneya temple to Hindus if their claim was found to be true.
As you all know, prohibitory orders have been imposed by the Taluk administration, and there is no permission or any scope for processions or rallies or protests in Srirangapatna town panchayat limits today. And in view of this prohibitory order, we have ensured adequate bandobast in and around Srirangapatna town so that no untoward incident takes place today and of course in future also. So nobody has come forward claiming that they will be still doing the protest or prohibition, processions even after the prohibitory orders have been imposed. Still, we have made adequate bandobast and we are all watchful so that no untoward incident takes place.
Any leaders have been taken into custody from any of the nearby, areas or leading up to this particular place?
No, we have not found it necessary to do so far. So we have not taken anybody into custody.
Have they approached you and said anything whether they will be coming or not, whether they have withdrawn it?
There is no communication as such, but definitely there is no information of them doing anywhere within the Srirangapatna town panchayat limits, which would definitely be a violation of the prohibitory order. So we are just ensuring that no such violation takes place.
How many men has been deployed in and around?
We have deployed sufficient men, about 250 men in and around Srirangapatna town, so that anybody who tries to sneak in are also caught in the act, and definitely we will make sure that peace and tranquility prevails in Srirangapatna.
At least 3 FIRs and over 36 people have been arrested so far in connection with the violence that erupted at Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh on Friday. And of the 3 FIRs, 2 have been lodged by the police, while the third has been filed by a person who was injured in the violence. The arrests were made on the basis of video clips to identify the people involved in the violence that left over 40 people injured. Additionally, 13 policemen were also injured in the clash. Meanwhile, all arrested persons will be tried in line with the Gangster Act. Well, their property will be sealed and reportedly bulldozed.
भी स्थिति सामान्य है और पूरी रात्रि पुलिस की टीमें गश्त और भ्रमण करती रही। सभी जगह पर फोर्स तैनात है। सामान्य रूप से ट्रैफिक चल रहा है, दुकानें खुल रही हैं, सामान्य जनजीवन है। 3 FIR पंजीकृत कराई है, जिसमें अभी तक 36 लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया गया है। अभी भी जो हमारे पास टीवी फुटेज और फोटोग्राफ्स हैं, उससे अन्य लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया जा रहा है और इसमें लगातार दबिशें देके अरेस्टिंग के प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं। अभी अरेस्टिंग के प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं। जल्दी ही सभी जितने भी जो साजिश करता थे और जो मौके पे थे, इनके खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई की जाएगी, अरेस्ट किया जाएगा।
जो भी लोग दोषी हैं उनके खिलाफ किस तरह की कार्रवाई की जाएगी?
इसमें ना सिर्फ इनको अरेस्ट किया जाएगा, इनके खिलाफ गैंगस्टर एक्ट के तहत कार्रवाई की जाएगी और इनका जो प्रॉपर्टी जब्तीकरण है वो किया जाएगा। NSA के तहत कार्रवाई की जाएगी ताकि कोई भी जो ये लोग हैं जिन्होंने माहौल खराब करने का प्रयास किया, इनके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त
Shifting focus now, a total of 41 candidates have been declared elected unopposed. Well, these include P. Chidambaram and Rajiv Shukla from Congress, Sumitra Valmiki and Kavita Patidar from BJP, former Congress leader Kapil Sibal, Nisa Bharti from RJD, and Jayant Chaudhary from RLD. 11 candidates from Uttar Pradesh, 6 from Tamil Nadu, all of 11 candidates from Uttar Pradesh, 4 from Andhra Pradesh, 3 each from Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, 2 each from Chhattisgarh, Punjab, Telangana, and Jharkhand have been elected for the Rajya Sabha. With regards to the 41 candidates who have been elected unopposed, 14 are from BJP and 4 each from Congress and YSR Congress. The rest include 3 each from DMK and Biju Janata Dal, 2 each from Aam Aadmi Party, TRS, AIA DMK, and RJD. The list also includes 1 candidate each from JMM, JDU, SP, and RLD. Kapil Sibal has been elected unopposed as an independent candidate. Some more national stories now. Well, Union Home Minister Amit Shah met the parents of a deceased Punjab singer politician Sidhu Moosewala in Chandigarh today. It may be mentioned here that Moosewala's family had written a letter to Home Minister Amit Shah requesting a probe by central agencies into the brutal murder of their son and popular singer Sidhu Moosewala. A few days back, when Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat visited their residence to express condolences to Moosewala's parents, they requested for a meeting with Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Well, during the meet, Union Minister Gajendra Shekhawat had assured of a meeting with Shah when he will be in Chandigarh on 4th of June. Well, Sidhu Moosewala was shot dead by a group of attackers on May 29th at Jawahar K village, a day after his security was pared down by the Punjab government. Notably, Moosewala's parents' meeting with Union Home Minister comes just a day after Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann visited their home, promising to have his killers arrested soon. Union Minister Amit Shah will be the chief guest at the launch of Khelo India Youth Games 2021 today in Haryana's Panchkula. Well, this is the 4th edition of Khelo India Youth Games, the biggest nationwide grassroots level sports competition in India, started by the central government in 2018. Well, Chief Minister of Haryana Manohar Lal Khattar, Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Singh Thakur, and Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports Nishit Pramanik will also grace the opening ceremony. Besides them, other dignitaries from Haryana, including the State Sports Minister Sandeep Singh, will also grace the event. Overall, as many as 4,700 athletes, including 2,262 girls, will be vying in 25 sports for 269 gold, 269 silver, and 358 bronze medals from the Games, which will start today and will go on till June 13th. Well, KIYG 2021 will see participation from 37 states and union territories of India. Well, this will be held over 5 cities of Panchkula, Shahabad, Ambala, Chandigarh, and Delhi. The games will feature a total of 25 sports, including 5 indigenous games of India: Kalari Payatu, Thangta, Ghatka, Malakhamba, and Yogsana. Well, unlike the previous editions where the Khelo India Youth Games were held in 2 age categories, this one will only have under 18 players competing for the honours. Well, host Haryana have fielded a 396-member contingent, the largest at KIYG 2021, and will compete in every sport. 2-time KIYG champions Maharashtra are sending a 318-strong contingent and will be competing in 23 of 25 events in Haryana. The rules of COVID-19 will be fully followed during the games, and full arrangements will be made by National Anti-Doping Agency for dope testing, etc. for the players. Well, the National Commission for Minorities has expressed happiness with the Assam government's move to provide certificates to 6 minority communities. The NCM asserted that it would be hugely beneficial for 6 communities, namely Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, and Parsis living in the state. While talking to journalist, NCM Chairman Iqbal Singh Lalpura stated that acquiring such certificates will help students from the minority communities to avail education loan from class 1 to postgraduate level. Well, youth from these communities will be eligible to get loans at low rate of interest to start business ventures on their own. The NCM chairman said that the commission has already issued an advisory to all states and union territories in the country to provide certificates to minorities. He praised the Assam government to take initiatives to execute the advisory. It may be mentioned here that Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma on Monday informed that the state cabinet had taken the decision to provide certificates to 6 minority communities in the state at the directive of central government. He asserted that the move will help the minorities to secure benefits of various schemes, including scholarship funded by the center for these communities. With that, we take a short break. Stay tuned for more news.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
अच्छा
Introducing the new Suzuki Avenue, the sportiest, zippiest ride in town that's loaded with next generation GPS navigation.
চিমি ক'ত আছে
যদি মই কলোহেঁতেন আমি মাতিছো তেন্তে ৱেইট কৰালাহেঁতেন নহয়
The new Suzuki Avenue, more zip for trip.
Welcome back. Sikkim's Gyalshing District Court has rejected the bail plea of SDF spokespersons Avinash Yakha and Rinzing Norbu Bhutia. As per sources, one of the reasons for the rejection of bail plea by the Sessions Court is because the investigation is in the initial stage. Earlier, on the 2nd of June, Rinzing Norbu Bhutia was reportedly seen entering Gyalshing District Court to surrender. It may be mentioned here that SDF spokesperson Avinash Yakha and Rinzing Bhutia had reportedly gone absconding after the gunfire incident that occurred on the 30th of April in Soring in West Sikkim. After the devastation in Assam's Dima Hasao district due to unprecedented rainfall and landslides, Commissioner PWD NH Raj Chakravarti today visited the landslide-affected portion of Haflong Silchar National Highway. The commissioner took stock of all the locations damaged by incessant rain and landslides along the route of Haflong Silchar Road. Meanwhile, the commissioner was accompanied by Dima Hasao Deputy Commissioner Nazreen Ahmed, Regional Officer Nahai, Alok Kumar, and Assistant Commissioner Yvonne Teron.
যিটো সলিউশন আছে পার্মানেন্ট সলিউশনটো আমি নিশ্চয় দেখা পাম কিন্তু আমাৰ আজিৰ দিনত আমাক ইমিডিয়েট সলিউশন লাগে আমাৰ যাতে কমিউনিকেশনটো ভালকে চলে এইটো কাৰণে আজি আমি আহিছো মই পিডব্লিউডিৰ কথা খবৰ ল'বলৈ গৈছিলো হাফলঙৰ ৰাস্তাটো চাই আহিলো তাত আমাৰ পিডব্লিউডি ৰোডছৰ পৰা বেলেগ বেলেগ য'ত ডেমেজ হৈছে তাৰ ডেমেজ ষ্টাডি কৰিবৰ কাৰণে 6টা গ্ৰুপ বনাইছে আৰু এই 6টা গ্ৰুপে আজিকালি ভিতৰত আহিবই তেওঁলোকে আৰু এইটো এসেস কৰি পেলাই আমাৰ টেম্পৰৰি মানে বাৰিকাটো যাব লাগিব ইন দা মিন টাইম আমি কি ভাবিছো আমাৰ পাহাৰীয়া জায়গা অৰুণাচল হিমাচল বা কাশ্মীৰত যোনে জম্মু কাশ্মীৰ এইবিলাকত যোনে আমাৰ এক্সপাৰ্ট আছে যোনে এই ধৰণৰ প্ৰব্লেম ফেচ কৰি থাকে তেনেকুৱা এক্সপাৰ্ট আনিম বুলি আমি ভাবিছো আমি মানে অসম চৰকাৰে আৰু আমি ডেফিনেটলি আমাৰ এজেন্সি NSIDCL আৰু NHR লগত আমি কোঅৰ্ডিনেট কৰি ৰেলৱেকো আমি হাতত ল'ম লৈ পেলাই এটা পাৰ্মানেন্ট সলিউশন এইটো ৰাস্তাৰ কাৰণেতো NHI লৈছে কিন্তু আমি বাকি যিবোৰ ৰাস্তা আছে যেটো আপুনি ক'লে লংকা ৰাস্তা এটা কথা ক'লে মাত্ৰ আপুনি এই সকলোবোৰ ৰাস্তাতে আমি এটা সলিউশন বিচাৰিছো পাৰ্মানেন্ট সলিউশন যাতে ডিমা হাছাও মানুহে কমিউনিকেশনৰ কাৰণে আগলৈ অসুবিধা নহয় এইটোৱে আমাৰ এটেম্প হ'ব
আমাৰ লগত আছে আমাৰ নাহাই টিম আৰু স্পেশাল কমিশনাৰ PWD আৰু নাহাই আৰু ৰিজনেল অফিচাৰ তেওঁলোকে আহিলে আৰু তেওঁলোকৰ এইটো ৰাস্তাত কিমানখিনি ড্যামেজ হৈছে আমি পৰহি চাই গৈছিলো মই আৰু ডিস্ট্ৰিক্ট এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যনৰ ফালৰ পৰা আৰু ডেমেজখিনি আজি দেখুৱাম বুলি ভাবিছোঁ এণ্ড দে হেভ এচিয়ৰ্ড আছ অল পচিবল হেল্প এণ্ড ৰিষ্টৰেশ্যনৰ কাৰণে যিমান সোনকালে পাৰে তেওঁলোকে কৰিব তো মানে এতিয়া বিগিনিং অফ দ্য ৰেইনি ছিজন আমি উই ষ্টিল টু চি মোৰ ৰেইনছ সেইকাৰণে আমি যিমান সোনকালে পাৰোঁ অকণমান পাৰ্মানেণ্টলি তেওঁলোকে কৈছে যে এতিয়া টেম্পৰৰী ৰিষ্টৰেশ্যন ইমিডিয়েট ৰিষ্টৰেশ্যন কিন্তু সিহঁতে আৰু एक्सपर्ट आनिब टू लुक इनटू दिस डिमा हासाव प्रॉब्लम
गार्ड में अभी एक यहाँ पर डेडिकेटेड ऑफिसर है वो द प्रोजेक्ट डायरेक्टर का ऑलरेडी यहाँ पर डिप्लॉयमेंट हो चुका है ये ज्वाइन ऑन द 20th में और अभी हम सारे साइट को वो खुद ही यहाँ पर वो मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं नो डाउट यहाँ पर जो सिचुएशन ही है आज की जो स्थिति है जो हमने 27 तारीख को देखा था नीचे रेलवे द्वारा भी थोड़ा सा जो कटिंग है जिससे थोड़ा सा स्लिप हो गई थी तो फिर अभी हमने उनके साथ कोऑर्डिनेशन में उसको रिस्टोर कर रहा है और फिर जो कल जो बारिश हो गई जिसके रिगार्ड में थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम आई है तो ये कंटिन्यूस हमारा वो रिपेयर वो चलता रहेगा और हर जगह पूरे स्टेट्स में हमने मैन एंड मशीनरी भी डिप्लॉय हमने कर दिया है कि सो कि कोई इमरजेंसी में जहाँ भी रिक्वायरमेंट हो उसको इमीडिएटली वहाँ पर हेल्प कर सकें
Shifting focus now, Assam Health Minister Keshav Mohanto has directed the Lakhimpur Deputy Commissioner to submit a report by June 8th on the unfortunate incident at the Lakhimpur Medical College and Hospital that claimed the life of a pregnant lady. The Health Minister directed that a meeting will be held on June 8th wherein all the details concerning the incident will be shared in a detailed way. Health Minister Keshav Mohanto warned that anyone found guilty will be booked and face strict consequences.
নিজে প্ৰটকল লিখি বনাই 8 তাৰিখে মিটিঙত সাবমিট কৰিব যে ইয়াত ডাক্তৰ হেড কেনেকৈ চলিব কথা বতৰা কেনেকৈ চলিব সুপাৰিনটেণ্ডেণ্ট কেনেকৈ চলিব ডেপুটি সুপাৰিনটেণ্ডেণ্ট মানে কেনেকৈ চলিব মানুহৰ এটেণ্ডেণ্টক কি কৰিব সব কথা ঠিক কৰিবলৈ দিছো আৰু 8 তাৰিখৰ ভিতৰত সকলো ঠিক হ'ব ইয়াত যিখিনি আমি এক্সপাৰ্ট কমিটিক দিছো তেওঁলোকে ৰিপৰ্ট দিয়াৰ লগে লগে ইয়াত যোন যাৰ কৰবাত যদি নেগলিজেন্স হয় সেইমতে যি ব্যৱস্থা ল'ব লাগে তৎক্ষণিকভাৱে ব্যৱস্থা ল'ব তাৰ কাৰণে অকমান সময় ৰৈ নাথাকো হেতুৰ কাৰণে কোনো ৰৈ থাকিব লগা নহয় এইখিনি ব্যৱস্থা তৎকালীনভাৱে হ'ব
It may be mentioned here that on Friday, a pregnant woman who was admitted at the hospital for delivery lost her life due to the alleged negligence by the doctors. It is reported that during the surgery, the power supply was suddenly disrupted in the operation theatre as there was no fuel in the generator. Moments later, the lady died in the OT room. In a shocking instance of mob lynching, a youth was allegedly beaten to death by a girl's family. As per reports, the incident happened at Borkhala constituency of Kachar last night when the deceased, who was actually the girl's lover, had gone to her residence to meet her. Furious with the turn of events, the girl's family held the youth identified as Rajan Rabidas and assaulted him brutally. Later, a team of Borkhala police arrived on the spot and recovered Rajan's body from the cow shed. Meanwhile, 4 persons have been arrested so far in connection to the case. They are Sadhu Rai, Deepak Rai, Kartik Ri and Lakshman Ri.
লক্ষ্মণজী নামৰ মানুহজনৰ ঘৰত এই ৰাজেন ৰবিদাস নামৰ মানুহজনৰ মৃতদেহটো তাত আমি পোৱা হ'ল সেইমতে আমি প্ৰাথমিক তদন্তখিনি কাম আৰম্ভ কৰিলোঁ তদন্তকালত আমি গম পালোঁ যে এই ৰাজেন ৰবিদাস যিজন মৃত এই লক্ষ্মণজী পৰিয়ালৰ কোনোবা ছোৱালী মানুহৰ লগত তেওঁৰ অকণমান কিবা তেনেকুৱা অবৈধ নিচিনা সম্পৰ্ক থকা বুলি প্ৰাথমিক অনুসন্ধানত কথাটো আহিছে আৰু তেনেকুৱা কিবা সম্পৰ্কজনিত কাৰণতে এই মৃতক ব্যক্তিজন যোৱা নিশা প্ৰায় 4টামান বজাত তেওঁলোকৰ ঘৰলৈ আহিছিল আৰু তাত তেওঁলোকৰ কিবা কাজিয়া পচাল হয় মাৰপিট হয় এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আমি প্ৰাথমিক অনুসন্ধানকালত জানিবলৈ পাইছোঁ কিছুমান মানুহে তেওঁক মাৰপিট কৰিছিল বুলি কৈছিল এই 4জন ব্যক্তিক আমি অশেষ প্ৰয়াস কৰি তাৰে স্থানীয় ৰাইজৰ সহযোগত ঘটনাস্থলীৰ ওচৰে পাজৰে বিভিন্ন ঠাইৰ পৰা এই গোটেই 4জন আমি পদকীয়াকৈ গ্ৰেপ্তাৰ কৰিবলৈ সক্ষম হৈছোঁ
And while news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thank you.
Northeast Live, every weekend talk show on upcoming and hidden talents from Northeast and beyond. Watch Showtime with me, Aaron Lingdo, only on Northeast Live.